Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. So today we're looking at how AI is changing things up. In the world of chat applications, like all those interfaces that seem to be popping up everywhere, from customer service to project management, it's not as simple as just like throwing AI in though, right?
Mhm.
We really need to make sure that these AI-powered chats are actually helping us achieve specific goals that we have in mind. And that's what today's deep dive is all about. We'll be checking out this article, Workflow-Driven Chat Applications Powered by Adaptive Cards, which really gets into how we can create these really slick and effective AI-enhanced chat experiences.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting about AI and chat applications is that AI is just incredible at understanding and generating text, right?
Yeah.
So it makes those interactions feel almost human. But without some structure in place, it can be kind of like giving a world-class chef all these amazing ingredients and then expecting a gourmet meal without a recipe. It's just chaos.
Okay, I love that analogy. So it sounds like we need a recipe or a blueprint, and the article calls these blueprints workflows. But can you explain why these workflows are so important? I mean, can't AI figure things out on its own?
Well, AI is really great at language, but it really needs guidance to stay on track and to make sure it actually accomplishes something useful for us. So workflows provide that guidance, and they make sure that each interaction in the chat has a real purpose and is leading us towards a desired outcome.
Okay, so the article uses this really cool example of a coffee brewing workflow. It describes a chat app that walks you through, making like the perfect cup of coffee. And get this, it actually adapts those instructions based on like your preferences, strong or mild drip or French press. The workflow just adjusts to your needs. It's like having your own personal barista in your pocket.
Yeah, that's a great example of just how powerful these structured workflows can be. And behind the scenes, there's this really intricate system of what are called nodes and edges that allow that workflow to adapt in real time based on the user's choices. And here's the cool part. It's all configured using something called JSON, which means you can easily make changes and updates to that workflow without, needing a developer every time. You want to add a question about milk preferences to your coffee chatbot. No problem. Just tweak that JSON.
So not only does this make the user experience more engaging
Yeah.
and more personalized, but it also makes it much easier for us to manage and update these AI chats.
Yeah.
That's a win-win for sure.
Exactly. And the article even talks about what it calls this trifecta of intelligent chat applications: efficiency, goal-oriented interaction, and intelligent computing. And,
Yeah.
Adaptive cards are a key part of that trifecta.
Right, adaptive cards, those are like the building blocks of the chat interface,
Yeah.
right? But they're not just about like aesthetics, are they?
No, definitely not. Adaptive cards provide that visual structure, but they also allow for these interactive elements like buttons and forms. So this means that the user can actually do things within that chat, not just read text. It's like having a mini app right inside your chat window.
Okay, so we're talking about chat applications that are both smart and easy to use. But the article also emphasizes the importance of making sure that these AI-driven chats are actually meeting system requirements. Can you explain what that means and how these workflows and adaptive cards can help with that?
Sure. So think about it this way. Let's say you have a chatbot that is handling customer orders right. You need to make sure that that chatbot is following all the correct procedures, that it's collecting all the necessary information, like a shipping address and payment details, and that it's complying with any regulations. So a structured workflow acts like a set of guardrails that are preventing that AI from, going off track
Right.
or breaking any rules.
Okay, so it's like having a safety net that's built into the system, making sure that AI stays within the bounds of, what's acceptable.
And preventing those costly errors, that's reassuring.
Exactly. It's about harnessing the power of AI while ensuring that it remains aligned with the goals that we set out for it. And adaptive cards contribute to that as well by providing a really clear and user-friendly way to collect and validate information. They can ensure that the information being collected is accurate and complete and that it's in the right format for your systems.
It sounds like workflows and adaptive cards are like the dynamic duo of AI-enhanced chat applications, providing that structure and flexibility, while also making sure everything runs smoothly in the background.
Exactly. And the best part is that this approach allows us to create chat applications that are not only efficient and effective, but also engaging and enjoyable. For the user, okay, so we've got the recipe, we've got the ingredients, and now we understand the importance of following those instructions. But what does the final dish look like? What are some real-world examples of how these concepts are being applied, and what kind of impact are they having? That's what we'll be digging into after a quick break.
Yeah, that's a great question, and we'll get into some of those examples. right after the break.
Sounds good.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. All right.
Welcome back. So before the break, we were talking about all those key ingredients for creating those AI-enhanced chat applications that, really deliver. So now let's get into some real-world scenarios where these concepts are making a difference.
All right, I'm ready for some examples. But first, can we circle back to workflows for a second? I'm still a little fuzzy on how they work in practice.
Yeah, sure. So think of a workflow, like a choose-your-own-adventure book, but for AI chat. Each point in the conversation, where that AI presents you with options, it's like a page in the book, those options are what are called nodes, and your choices as the user are the edges. That determine which path that conversation is going to take.
Okay, that's a much clearer way to visualize it. So you're saying that even with all this AI magic, we still need to give it a very specific roadmap to follow.
Exactly. AI is really powerful, but it needs those guidelines to stay focused and to accomplish those goals that we've set. Without a well-defined workflow, the conversation could easily go off track or fail to capture, the necessary information.
And this is where adaptive cards come in, right?
Yeah.
They provide those building blocks.
Yeah.
For those individual steps within the workflow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like the interactive elements on those choose-your-own-adventure pages. Think buttons, drop-down, menus, input fields, even images and videos. Adaptive cards make the experience so much more visually engaging and user-friendly, while ensuring that the AI is collecting the right data at each step.
Okay, so we've got our workflow, we've got our adaptive cards. But how do we actually connect all the pieces? Make sure that the AI is actually following the rules. The article mentioned something called JSON. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, so JSON. JSON is basically a way for humans and computers to speak the same language. When it comes to, giving those instructions for the chat, it's what allows developers to easily define, the content of those adaptive cards, the logic that's driving the conversation, and the actions that should be triggered based on the user's responses.
Wait, you're telling me that with this JSON thing, I could potentially tweak my AI chat without having to call in a developer every single time?
Exactly. That's the beauty of JSON. It makes those workflows incredibly flexible and adaptable. You can make changes, you can add features, or even adjust that entire conversational flow without having to rewrite any complex code.
Okay, this is starting to sound like something even I could manage. But I'm still curious about the so what. How do these workflow-driven chat applications actually benefit someone in their daily work life? Can you give me like a concrete example?
Yeah, sure. Let's say you work in customer support, and you need to gather specific information from users to troubleshoot issues. Instead of sifting through, endless emails or chat logs, imagine having an AI-powered chat that guides those users through a series of questions. Using those adaptive cards, it could ask them about, their operating system, the specific problem they're experiencing, any error messages they've encountered, all in a really conversational and user-friendly way.
So instead of a frustrating back and forth, the AI is gently leading the user down a path. That ensures that, that we're capturing all the essential details. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's all about creating that really seamless and efficient experience for both the user and the support team. That AI can even pre-qualify those issues and route them to the appropriate specialists. So that's saving everyone time and frustration.
That's brilliant. It's like having a super efficient virtual assistant.
Yeah.
That's always on top of things.
Yeah.
But what about more complex scenarios? How do these workflow-driven chat applications handle situations where, the user might actually need human intervention?
That's a great question. So well-designed workflows will include points where the AI recognizes the need for a human to step in, and it can seamlessly hand off that conversation to a live agent. For example, if the AI detects, a high level of frustration in the user's language, or it encounters a particularly complex issue, it can trigger a notification to a human agent, and then that agent can step in and provide, that more personalized support.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's not about replacing humans entirely. It's about augmenting our capabilities and creating, a more seamless and efficient experience for everyone involved.
Precisely. And the beauty of this approach is that it allows us to leverage the strengths of both AI and humans. AI excels at handling those more routine tasks and gathering information, while humans are much better at,
Providing us
empathy, understanding those nuanced situations, and coming up with, those more creative solutions.
It's a true partnership. But we have to be mindful of the ethical implications as well, right? As we automate more and more tasks, how do we ensure that we're not creating systems that are biased or unfair?
That's such an important point. Building ethical AI systems really requires careful consideration. and ongoing monitoring. We need to make sure that the data that we're using to train our AI models is diverse and representative, and we need to continuously test our systems to identify and mitigate any potential biases.
So it's not just about, building cool technology. It's about building technology that's fair and equitable, and that benefits everyone.
Absolutely. And as AI continues to evolve, it's crucial that we have these conversations about ethics and responsibility. We need to work together to create a future where AI empowers us and enhances our lives without sacrificing those core values.
Well said. It sounds like workflow-driven chat applications have the potential to revolutionize the way we interact with technology and the way we interact with each other. But I'm curious to hear more about the technical side of things. Like, how are developers actually building these intricate workflows, and how are they integrating them with these adaptive cards? All right, so we've explored kind of the why and the how of these workflow-driven chat applications. But let's zoom out for a minute and talk about what this means for the average person like you and me. How are these advancements going to change the way we work and just interact with technology in general?
I think it's really about creating a more human-centered approach to technology. So instead of us having to adapt to these rigid systems, AI-enhanced chat applications are designed to adapt to us. They can understand our needs. They can guide us through these complex processes. And they can even anticipate what we might need before we even ask for it.
That sounds almost like having a personal assistant who knows exactly what you need and how to get it done. But does this mean that, robots are taking over? Am I going to be out of a job soon?
No, not at all. It's not about replacing humans. It's about augmenting our abilities and freeing us up to focus on things that really require those unique human skills, like creativity, critical thinking, problem solving. Think of it as a collaboration where AI is handling those routine tasks and humans are taking the lead on those more complex and strategic ones.
So it's more like a dynamic duo where AI and humans work together to achieve better outcomes. I like that. Can you give us some examples of how this is playing out in different industries?
Absolutely. So let's take healthcare, for example. Imagine an AI-powered chat application that helps patients schedule appointments, refill prescriptions, or even get personalized health information. This would free up healthcare professionals to spend more time with patients and focus on, providing that higher level care.
That's a great example. It not only improves efficiency, but it also enhances that patient experience. What about other fields?
Yeah, so in education, AI chatbots can provide students with on-demand tutoring, personalized learning recommendations, and they can even help students navigate complex course material. So this could really make education more accessible and engaging for students of all levels and backgrounds.
Okay, so we're talking about applications that have the potential to truly democratize access to information and services. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop there. Imagine using these AI-enhanced chats for financial planning, travel booking, or even managing your home appliances. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
It's exciting to think about how this technology is going to continue evolving and how it's going to shape our lives in the years to come. But as with any powerful tool, we need to be mindful of the potential risks and ethical implications. We've talked about bias in AI. But what are some other things that we should be thinking about?
I think privacy and security are paramount. We need to ensure that these AI-powered systems are designed with really robust security measures to protect sensitive information. Transparency is also crucial. Users should understand how these systems work, what data they're collecting, and how that data is being used.
So it's about using this technology responsibly and ethically, with a focus on empowering individuals and creating, a more equitable and inclusive world.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between innovation and responsibility.
Well said. It's clear that AI-enhanced chat applications have the potential to revolutionize the way we interact with technology and with each other. As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with this final thought. The future of AI is not about replacing humans. It's about empowering us to achieve more than we ever thought possible.
Yeah, it's about working together, humans and AI, to create a future that's more efficient, more connected, and ultimately more human.
That's a future I'm definitely excited to be a part of. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.